Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. Be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. Okay. Hope you all are doing wonderful, feeling great and safe. Today I have the body deck out today, and I'm picking up on the energy of someone who wants to know how things work, how things are put together, how things are assimilated in life when it comes to possibly the existence, maybe their human anatomy, maybe their spirituality. Someone who is interested in knowing more about their purpose, someone who is interested in knowing that there is more than what meets the eye, okay? And so I have one diaphragm of a skeleton bone figure here, and the other is a diaphragm of organs, okay? And so you could have an interest of wanting to know more about how things work, how things are connected. What is the purpose, of your existence? You could have a lot of questions when it comes to knowing about who you are, your divine purpose. I'm picking up on someone who is kind of bored with the day-to-day mundane things. You have grown an interest to know more about yourself, especially when it comes to the inner you. Maybe you're someone who is embracing the idea of learning how to meditate. Maybe you are studying, esoteric wisdom or knowledge. Maybe you are someone who is also just want to do something different because you're bored. I'm picking up you're bored with the day-to-day things that have been taking place in your life, places you go, people you hang around. You're grateful for your family, you're grateful for your job, but you have become extremely bored. And so as you look here at this diaphragm of the stomach, of the abdomen here, you could have a gut feeling that you are being spiritually led to tap into your intuition, okay? Metaphorically speaking. You could have been receiving downloads or maybe signs and synchronicities in your awakened state as well as your dream state, nudging you that there is more than what meets the two human eyes and that you do have a unique, divine, individual purpose. And so maybe you feel that there is no one around you to confide in when it comes to wanting to know more about spirituality. Maybe you want to take on some kind of study. There's many things you can study when it comes to religion, when it comes to culture, uh, when it comes to ritualistic practices. Okay, and maybe you are desiring to learn divination, whether it's reading cards, whether it's reading tea leaves, coffee cups, wax, whether it's reading fire, doing divination through smoke. There are many ways, okay? And so maybe you're trying to decide. Maybe you have been intrigued or influenced, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, to partake. But there are no coincidences. It's just confirmation. So if your spirit is calling you to know more, about the inner you, about how things work. As I hold this card up here, the Nine of Hearts here, of how things work on the inside of you. You want to know more. You want to know more because you're ready to progress in life. You're ready to progress when it comes to your spirituality. You're ready to progress when it comes to the people, places, and things that you have access to. With the Eight of Swords here, you feel as if there is an urgent need for you to break through of the regular schmegler, I'm hearing, routine. Someone is saying you need to break from the regular schmegler routine. And so you feel this need is very urgent, okay? And so you may feel kind of iffy. Your energy is kind of back and forth on whether you should partake, in this study or this belief system or this practice. But Spirit is saying in order for you to be successful in such an endeavor, it's most important for you to be confident, okay? It's most important for you to believe in yourself. We have the Eight of Wands here, and the Eight of Wands is information coming in, news that you can use, information coming in fast, information coming in that can assist you in moving forward. And so it's very important and valuable that you consider this information. This could come from a total stranger, someone you don't know. You could be running errands, handling your business collective, and you may speak to a total stranger or have a conversation. And in this conversation, something may come up that is symbolic to maybe a dream that you had or questions that you have been answering yourself. So basically, your ancestors is saying for you to pay attention to the signs and synchronicities all around you as you are intrigued to know more about the inside of you, who you are, what your purpose is. Okay, and you're also you're feeling very curious. You want to know more about your lineage. Okay. And maybe you want to get a reading. I'm picking up on someone who's saying, I'm going to schedule a reading. You want to know more about your lineage, about your heritage, where you come from. Are there ancestors who had the same experiences as you? Are there ancestors, who have passed on, who are very spiritual, such as yourself? Okay. But something about you feeling like you are alone. Okay. You are desiring to be around like minded energy. You are desiring to be around people who will allow you to be yourself confidently, free, and flowing. And Spirit is saying, the path that you are choosing is less traveled, and for you to remain confident and to continue to move forward. But feeling like you are alone or lonely is normal. This is not a negative thing. But the goal is for you not to allow this feeling or this illusional sensation, this illusional feeling to make you feel like you are someone who's not worthy, or maybe you may be saying, well, maybe this is the wrong thing. Maybe I shouldn't study spirituality, or maybe I shouldn't learn divination, or it could be anything. You could be someone, maybe you want to become a chef, okay? Maybe I shouldn't go to cooking class. No, Spirit is saying for you to come out of your head, because in life, whenever you're working on progress, you're going to be challenged. You're going to have people, places, and things. You're going to have things test you. There's going to be people who are going to want to challenge you, collective. And this can even be total strangers, but it's all just a test. So Spirit is saying, moving forward, when you come up against any kind of resistance, someone speaking negative to you, or just not being supportive, telling you your ideas don't make sense, maybe mocking you, teasing you, trying to slander your character. All these things are just a test of your faith, okay? These things are to increase your tenacity and your wits about yourself. But you must not, with the Knight of Swords, give up the fight of standing for what you believe in and living the life that you deserve, okay? We have the Emperor energy here, number 4 here. You could be a life path number 4, but either way, with the Emperor energy here, this is someone who has leadership qualities. You could be a leader. Maybe you are a supervisor or a manager on a job, okay? Maybe you are respected as a leader in your community or maybe in your family, okay? People look up to you. They admire you, okay? You're the go-to person. You are the one that people trust, possibly, okay, when it comes to things in particular, such as if your family was planning a trip and they needed a treasurer, collective, most likely they would trust you to hold the fundings, okay? But you are ready to move past these things. You love your family, those who are around you, but you're like, look, I am bored with this. It's time for me to experience more, okay? And so there could be someone planning a trip. I'm picking up on someone planning a trip. Maybe you want to travel somewhere that is foreign, somewhere you've never been as well. You have a lot of spontaneous ideas. And Spirit is saying for you to just pick one thing that interests you or that you are passionate about and just focus on that. You're receiving a lot of downloads at one time. Do not let this overwhelm you. And so it's important for you to do grounding work. And I know you hear this repetitively, but it's very important to do the grounding work so that you're able to focus and stay on task, so that you're able to keep things together. Okay, just as the bone structure here is together. Okay. So it's important that you stay grounded and stay rooted. Your root chakra is your foundation. Make sure you're staying confident. Nobody wants you to be happy more than you, collective. Nobody wants you to be more successful more than you. So, at all times, pay attention. Do not disregard of how you feel on the inside, okay? Those sensations that you get in that gut feeling, that's your inner niggle, your inner wiggle. When you get those nudges or those twitches, that spirit, that source trying to nudge you in the right direction. You get dressed, you plan to go somewhere, and all of a sudden you're ready to go out the door, but maybe you have to go to the restroom, or maybe you forgot something. Okay, that's your intuition. That's your guidance. They're slowing you down or redirecting you for a moment. So even the small things and the big things, when it comes to signs and synchronicities, they want you to pay attention to. But it's okay for you to be different. It's okay for you to be unique. As I always inform the collective when I do reads, you do not have to imitate or duplicate your life. Your life, your path does not have to look like anyone else's. So it's okay to be different. It's okay to be different. So feel free, okay? And so go ahead and plan that trip. Go ahead, and maybe you're saying, well, you don't want to travel by yourself. That could be a thing as well. You're probably saying, I want someone to go with me. And Spirit is saying, that's fine. You can have someone go with you. But if every time you ask someone to support you or go with you somewhere and you're constantly getting the no, collective, Spirit is saying, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop your life? Are you going to stop living? Are you going to pause your life because you feel that you're not being supported, or are you going to keep going? Okay. And so it's important that you choose to keep going and keep moving forward. Okay. And so I'm picking up on the energy, of Venus, the Venus energy here. I'm picking up on the Venus energy, and I have a diagram here of the kidneys here, and the kidneys help transfer, fluids and liquids, throughout the body, and also help to cleanse the blood as well. The kidneys are very vital and very important. No, I'm not a licensed medical physician, neither is this medical advice. But metaphorically speaking, as I hold the card up here, the diaphragm of the kidneys here, they're very valuable, and they help to flush out and clean the blood and keep things in flow and intact. And so in order for you to keep things in flow and intact in your life, collective, Spirit is saying it is your confidence and it is the root work that needs to be done. And when I say root work, let me break that down for you before you run with that. And we're speaking of you doing the grounding, the meditation, the prayer, whatever works for you, to make sure that you're feeding yourself, you're feeding your soul, you're feeding your spirit. It takes confidence, as I always say, to do just about anything, to get up every day. You have to have the oomph in you to want to do it. And so to keep things afloat, such as, what the kidneys does, it's important for you to find what works for you, collective, and it's different for everyone. And for you to consistently make sure that you're pouring into yourself. And it's okay to be unique. It's okay to be different. Your life does not have to look like anyone else's. I mean, honestly, truly marinate and think about that for a second. If everyone here on planet Earth was meant to duplicate and imitate each other's lives, that means we all will be doing the same thing at the same time. So how will we be able to learn or grow if we're all doing everything at the same time? It just doesn't make sense if you let that marinate for a moment. So, take pride in being unique. Take pride in being different. Hold your head up high and continue to hold the light whenever you feel you're having a dark situations, because they will arrive. You will meet people who will be negative, who will be toxic. For instance, you could say it's a beautiful day, and someone may say, no, it's not. I experienced that. I think I shared that on a video. I was out hanging out and I said, oh, it's a beautiful day. And the lady said, yes, it is. And another lady said, no, it isn't. But I didn't stop to entangle myself with her energy to say, oh, why did you say that? And you shouldn't do that. I did not stop. I didn't let that ruin my day. I just kept going and I just laughed it off. I see that it's a good day. The lady I was speaking to agreed, but the third person said it wasn't. But I did not let it ruin my day. I laughed it off and I kept going about my business. We're not here to, to even judge or try to force anyone to do anything. I'm not trying to convince anyone to do anything. I always say on my channel, the only purpose and intention is to create a spark in you, and that you will find your own light in your own timing, your own timing, and go your own way that is best for you. Not anything that I am recommending. May my videos and messages inspire you and uplift you, but there's nothing less or more taking place. Anything else, that is something you created in your mind, okay? There are no other intentions. May you find a spark in you and be enlightened, because life is enough by itself, and all the other boxes are filled. We have enough people, being negative, being nefarious, hurting people, plan, plotting, strategizing. We have enough of those. Okay. Social media is a good place that shows that and express that. It's a lot of negative projection, a lot of negative, nefarious, dark things taking place. Okay. And so those boxes are filled. And so whatever I am doing on my channel, this is for me and my path. This is what I like and love doing. God hired me. Who gonna fire me? And it is what it is. And so the other boxes are filled. There are enough people keeping up chaos. There are enough people being toxic. There are enough people wanting to inflict harm onto other people. So I chose to go elsewhere where I'm needed. Okay. I don't fit those descriptions. Okay. But to each his own. We all will, find our purpose, and that's between you and source. That's a personal thing in our own time. And the next card we have here is the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles represents someone being diligent. And so Spirit is saying, yes, be diligent, be focused. Stay focused on your craft. But stay focused on the things that are working for you, and never mind the things that aren't working for you. Focus on the progress, the love, traveling, building, creating. There's enough of the rest. There's enough of the dark stuff, the negativity with the Eight of Cups here. Okay. So much that it's time to turn our back on that, not to ignore, not to be oblivious or fake or pretend, but real ish. It's time to really like turn your back on the negativity. If someone or something does not mesh or vibe with your energy, you do not have to do nothing but remove yourself, remove your energy, drain that thing, let it have no parts of your light, of who you are. And this person has their back turned. She is looking forward. She's looking at the sun, and the sun is getting ready to rise here in this card. She has her back turned because she realized what's behind her is just simply, it isn't worth it. It is not worth it, so much so she's willing to walk away and look forward. Okay. And her hands is behind her back. That's another symbolic gesture there. Her hands are behind her back. She do not know what's ahead. She see the sun is beginning to set. It's rising. Okay. But she's like, I'm walking away. What's behind me has not served me. People who are negative, environments that are unhealthy, listening and observing, maybe movies, music, things that you see on social media and television that are very negative, negative self-talk, stinking thinking, believing that you can't do something because of what someone said to you when you were 12 or 15 or 14. It's time out. It's time to, stand in your power of who you are and protect yourself in the process. But Spirit is clearly saying that whatever you choose to do, collective, whether it's embarking on something new that someone else has never done, it's okay that you are protected. That's what the spear represents. Though people may try to poke and pry at your energy, no weapon formed against the collective will ever prosper. Okay? So the goal of keeping the balance, this is a consistent thing here. The Two of Pentacles here, this is a consistent thing of maintaining your balance. And you don't have to do that, with anxiety or being nervous or anxious, but there's a way to maintain your balance with just doing very simple things, making sure you're making it a habit of going where the sun is shining. Okay. Life is not perfect, but we do have a choice each and every day that we open our eyes. of which way we're going. Each and every day, yesterday, today, tomorrow, each and every day you wake up, you have a choice. Okay, today, which day, what am I going to focus on? Am I going to focus on what's not working for me? Or am I just going to be grateful for what is already? We have a choice. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Like I was sharing, and I've shared before, things as simple as having a gratitude journal. And most people say write down 3 or 4 things. You can get a journal and write down one thing a day that you're grateful for, and watch the momentum, of favor and opportunity start to present itself in your life. Just writing down one thing a day that you're grateful for. It will become so addictive in a positive way. Oh my collective. You will be so grateful. And it's a nice, that's a nice skill and project to also do if you have children in your home. Children, teenagers, get the whole family. Look, get everybody a journal. Just go ahead and buy you a case of notebooks and pass them out. Like, look, every day you get up, just write down something you're grateful for. And you will be so thankful and grateful as you witness the positive domino effect that will take in your life. It sounds like nothing, but the things that you think are nothing, because everything is upside down anyway, collective, those who don't know, is really something. You will be so grateful. You will be so grateful. It becomes addictive. You'll find so much to be grateful for that you can't stop. And it won't be fake. It won't be phony. It'll just become who you are. Resting in gratitude, walking in gratitude, just being thankful, and coming away from the idea of comparing yourself and also complaining, also. Yes. So you can come out of your head. There is no confusion here. There is no confusion here. You have the answers. You're receiving confirmation through this read. So go ahead. Go ahead and start studying that new skill, learning that new trade. If you want to learn about different cultures or religions, go ahead and study that. hmm Go ahead and practice that. Go ahead and start researching, buying your books, traveling the world, whatever it is that you are desiring. It is different for everyone. You want to become a chef or a cook, I picked that up. You want to take a cooking class, go for it. You don't need permission. Maybe you've mentioned, things that you wanted to do, and maybe there's someone around you who tried to make you feel like your ideas weren't good enough. uh, don't believe that. That's just someone who you need not to share your ideas with. You're preparing yourself to give birth to a new you. You're preparing yourself to take a journey that is less traveled, but it is for you. And you are at the right place at the right time, and everything is exactly where it needs to be. Okay? So the more you work on yourself, collective, you will begin to see the negativity of people, the naysayers telling you what you can't do, be, or think. It'll go from one moment of being dark and then the next moment of being light. It'll go from one moment of being dark with the negative people telling you what you can't do, mocking you, making fun of you, slandering your character, whatever it is for you. It can be anything, until light, to more light, more positive energy, more people who are supportive. Your confidence will increase. You'll have more vitality. You'll have more energy to move throughout the day. You won't feel so weak or feel depleted. I'm picking up on someone whose energy could possibly be feeling depleted, as if they don't want to carry on, or you feel tired, or you want to take a nap or sleep. That's where the work comes in at. That's where the grounding work comes in at. Okay? So this concludes the read. I trust and hope that it assists you for your highest good. Later.